in this video we are going to look how to delete a contact and then how to edit our contacts. Okay, so let's look how to do that. So here is the continuation of previous one. So here we are submitting and it's being submitted and we are showing it, and while we press on this particular thing we need to delete or we need to edit. So let's go ahead and have an option for deleting. Okay, let's keep a button for deleting. Maybe a kind of material icon would be for good, right? So I'm importing material icons from expo. Okay, expo vector icons. Okay, and material icons from this particular place we are importing, and then we are keeping this material icon here, and here this is it, and now name equals to, let's keep delete. Okay, so yeah, and let's keep size as uh, 20 would be fine, I think. So now whenever we press on it, we need to delete that item, right? So how can we handle, let's keep this particular icon within a touchable opacity. Okay, mm, yeah. So when I press on this particular material icon, I'll get to know which icon I pressed with this on press. Okay, and whenever I press on item, I need to know which item I pressed, right? I'll pass that particular, like delete item. I'll write a method delete item basically, and yeah, delete item. And whenever I press on this particular delete icon, I need to access which item I have pressed on, and if I get to know which item I pressed on, if I send that particular item from this place delete item, I can delete it in this particular delete item method. Okay, so how we can get the id of this particular element? So let's have a unique id for every contact. Okay, so that we can pass it across this delete item to delete that particular item. So how we are going to create a unique id is, let's create a one more local state id, and I'll be setting id this way, and we will be using use state and 0. Let's have my first id as 0. Okay, now for suppose I clicked on submit contact, like whenever I submit a new contact, that is the instance where my new contacts get added. Okay, for adding new contact, whatever previous contacts are there, those will be added, and then mm, my new contact, right? So for adding them I need to create, let's have contact, so I need to keep this id here. So how I can do is, let's split this contact basically. So name is my contact dot name. Okay, and then number is my contact dot number, and then id is my id. Okay, whatever this is there, that is the id. Okay, so id this one, but we need to, after assigning this id, we need to increment the id. Okay, set id, I'll be setting, I'll be incrementing the id by 1 so that it will be good idea to do so, right? So now ID got created for every contact. Whenever I press on contact, I have to pass that particular ID across this delete item, right? So how we can pass is contact dot ID. I'll be passing it here, and then I'll be writing this particular method here. Here, delete item method ID. It's fine, I think. Now, uh, now I have to delete that item. Let's see whether it's being passed or not. I'll be consoling ID. Okay, let's check now. I'm Iron Man and number is some random number. So here I'm pressing on this delete. I'll check whether, yeah, 0 is here. Let's suppose I'm giving another Captain America, okay, and the number some random. Here it is. Here I'm pressing on this Captain and one is here. So here, do you observe anything like here first one is here, the second one is here. Let's suppose whatever the new contact is added, I wanted it above and the old contacts below. That way it looks good, right? So let's change these two things, okay? Mm, uh, Before setting these, like, I'll be taking this down and I'll be adding it here, okay? So this way, what will happen, let's suppose Batman now some random number, it got added in the upside. If I press on it, it should be 2. Yeah, it's 2. And that way we are accessing our ID for deleting it, okay? So now, so how I'm going to delete is, I'll filter my whole contacts with that ID, okay? And I'll be storing in a new contacts, okay? So how I'm going to do is, new in new contacts, what I am doing, I will be filtering my old contacts filter. What I'll be filtering is, first suppose contact is there, right? Contact, inside this contact I'll be filtering contact dot id shouldn't be equal to, okay, shouldn't be equal to my own id that is passed. So whatever the contacts that I'm deleting, that shouldn't be there. So without that id contact, everything will be stored in new contacts, okay? Now I'll be setting my contacts, okay, setting my contacts with these new contacts. So whenever I delete my old, I mean, after filtering, whatever contacts will be present, those will be set into my set contacts, new contacts. So I will be stay. Yeah. Now if I press on delete, that gets deleted. You see this, right? So that is the way we delete it. Let's create an edit option in next video.